Welcome to the May Rocky Mountain meeting. Do we have no new people? That is okay. Well, yes, from once beyond. So there's no real introductions. Welcome back, Megan. Megan actually was selected to represent Rocky Mountain Rugby referees to go to the IGR in Iowa? Ohio. So she's going to rise like a phoenix with one meeting under her belt and perform flawlessly.
I got a practice match.
Yes, so someone will be paying attention later tonight for the scrum session and lineout session. Stephen was appointed to go to the PRP finals, and it's a little bittersweet that Santa Monica decided to chuck their toys out on the lawn and not have a game. So Steve probably supported Leah.
I had a flawless game.
Yes,
I had
flawless
zero
game.
errors in my match.
But he had a tie.
Yeah, I did have a tie.
So he went on AR'd for Lee and Leah in the third place and final game, and Life West won that.
Life West came back from down 24-5, won 36-27.
Yeah, so exciting stuff.
Yeah, it was a good match. Belmont Shore.
Mike Boyd just came back from Iowa to educate some new referees in Iowa, much needed. Congratulations, Mike. And I don't know what else we have going on.
We got women's nationals, high school girls nationals coming up.
Yeah.
We've got boys state playoffs are ongoing. What else?
Yeah.
Who's doing high school girls nationals stuff? Claire, Katie, go. Awesome.
Great. There is international test coming to Glendale July 27th. It's part of the Pacific Nations Cup. Rugby Canada will be playing USA here. So get your tickets. They have sold a whopping 184 so far. Yeah, get your tickets for that and support international rugby. We have one more home game for Glendale. Hopefully they can make the playoffs. And just to support local rugby. I have a little video chat with Dan Hattrip. You see that?
Hey everybody, another video update because once again I'm out of town this time. Standing outside the beautiful Embassy Suites in Phoenix, Arizona, you can see some cactus right there, real life cacti. Anyway, money should be going out this week for the latter half of April. Folks have been asking how that gets paid out. If you have $100 in accruals, I go ahead and get that paid out twice a week, usually or twice a month, usually around the 15th and the 30th. And then from there, we'll go ahead and get everything paid out at the end of each season, spring, summer, and fall, if you don't accrue 100. Steve will hopefully let you know about the ref update that's going to be coming for all of the Mountain League. So that's going to be a new addition from what we were used to. And then finally, if you have any questions about the tournaments coming up, please send me a note to ops@RockyMountainRugbyRefs.com. Take care, enjoy the session, and enjoy the outdoor session with lineouts and scrums. See y'all.
Yeah, so with that, we piloted a new program that one of our referees have designed to make scheduling a little bit easier or more progressive, I guess, to get with the new culture of like apps and boosts and bonuses. And with that, I think the beta test went pretty well, and Steve will talk a little bit about that.
Okay, can I use this?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you need?
Just the internet.
Go here. And
Perfect.
Internet is yours.
And this is being shared for
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
three
Your
folks
video
on.
camera's on.
Okay, perfect. So we've been using Who's the Ref for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And it has a pretty crappy interface, but it has pretty good functionality to support our like typical model of doing assignments, which is the league send us a schedule and you guys go in and set your availability, and then mainly Dan, but kind of a team of us go and pair all of this stuff up. And the thought that that I had in conjunction with a handful of other people is maybe there's a more modern way to do that, kind of akin to like Uber or like a dating app or something like that, that gives people more control, like you as referees, more control over the assignments that you're getting, and also takes out Dan or anyone as this middleman that has a bunch of work to do and is juggling all of this stuff, and creates a bit more of a transparent system. So, so as Mark said, we tried this with the D2 men this year. So all of the assignments for that were made through this system and then were put into Who's the Ref. And we would like to do this with the Mountain League matches as well as like the high school tournaments that are coming up this summer. So hopefully everyone, when we send out the information, can go in and create an account, and then instead of going to Who's the Ref to enter your availability, you'll come into this system and that's by design. Don't worry, it's supposed to do that. It looks great on the laptop. What happens if you just unplug this one? Mark says it's a bad dongle.
Oh, yeah. Makes sense.
It's the worst dongle now.
All right.
Just got shaken. It looks fine to me.
What happens if I put it in that one? Ah, happy days.
Go quick.
Okay, so what you'll be able to do is you come in here and you click on my offers, right? Like you guys create offers to referee matches, and you'll see not just each day, but here are all of the matches or roles, for that day. So if you were like, okay, cool, on May 18th, I could go to Vail, but I'm not going to Glenwood Springs or Aspen for whatever reason, you just click the little checkbox next to the Vail things, and you would be marking yourself as being available for that match. And then maybe the next weekend, you're like, cool, I could go anywhere and do anything. So you could click all of these guys. You can also click this little star here, which will click all of them for you. So this way, again, like you have a little bit more control over the individual specific matches that you're getting. And it's not just like, hey, I could work on the 25th versus the 24th, and it's up to us or up to Dan to pick which one you go to. So that's kind of the simplest way. So if you want to use this just like Who's the Ref today, like just tick all of these boxes, or again, just click this little star for that day, and you'll be considered for any of them. I'm gonna leave it.
We understand that, like split until I get a dongle. So that's the basic part of this. Again, you're more in control of what you would do. So far, all we've done is say like, yes, I would do this game, or like, no, I'm not going to Glenwood Springs on the 18th. Questions? Makes sense?
Can I say if I just want to work that weekend, can I say I'm available for any match?
Yep, exactly. So like, let's undo all of this, right? So you can also like change your mind. So we're going to turn all of this stuff off. So nothing's set here, right? Like all of these are not done. So if you come in here and just click this little star next to the date, like, boom, It creates them for every single one, and anything else that comes up that day, you would be eligible for. You'd be considered for. So that's kind of that's like today's Who's the Ref. If you came in and hit that star, that's like saying, check, I'm available that day. Yes.
Do you still take into account what our experience level is when you assign them?
Yeah.
And then we say we're available for the whole day, you're not going to assign us like
MLR?
yeah, an MLR, not some nonsense.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So like maybe Art, for you, like you would just see assistant referee positions for some of these tournaments, and then maybe Don sees something different and Chris sees something different. So yes, we set up the levels, and it only puts you in there. Exactly. It's tied to your experience level, so you're not gonna like be able to be like, oh, I really want to do, as we said, that MLR game. Like that just won't really work.
Cherry picking games.
Sure. I mean, yeah, if you were like, hey, I only want to do this one game this weekend, and I only want to do that one game, sure, you can put that in. You may or may not get that game. So once
there's still a human filter.
Nope, there's no human filter. So once this happens, like if everybody did something like this, the system will randomly assign matches to people based on, again, your levels and what you've set. So there's no human element to it on that side of things.
I prefer human element.
Okay, well, do you want to be the match secretary?
Sure. I'll give you whatever it needs to be.
Zenobia.
Another question? I know our personnel.
I was going to say, does it take into account geographic location? I guess
Exactly.
well, is it going to have a location on there?
Yeah, so
sometimes you'll use the rep, you don't see it till the day of, and you're like, oh, it's right up here.
So this does, see the one on Main Street, this will be like a requirement that Who's the Ref is not provided.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, never mind.
Yep. So that'll be in there. And yeah, it's your preference, right? Is like, do I want to do this or not do this? And you can pick that.
Could you explain that the referee, center referee for 138-17, assistant for 42-20, 44-22, explain all that?
Yeah. So potentially the clubs or leagues will be able to set the prices that they want for these matches. And you will see what that is and be able to choose whether or not you want to do that for that price, for that amount of money.
Or they could literally be like, we're only going to say $10.
Yeah. Right now, they could say, we're only going to say $10. And if you think that your time is worth more than $10, you should not sign up for that game. So right now, we've set a price, like me, Mark, Dan, Zap, we've set a price to the teams. And we've set, honestly, a price to you guys. And there's some logic to it, but like, I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's wrong, right? Like, so there's no additional mileage on this right now. So like, that says $138.17. That is what you will get paid for doing that match. And again, if it works for you and you are willing to do it, awesome. And if it doesn't, that's fine. And what we may find, like what I think we would love to find is like, hey, we're not charging teams enough. Like we value our time more than we're getting paid right now. Maybe we'll find the opposite. I don't know, but it'll be, this is more of like, there's a market. There are people out here who want to buy referee services, and there are people here who want to sell referee services. And we'll see how all of that comes together. I think that in the immediate term, like the pricing really won't change that much. I think that for the next couple months, it'll probably look exactly like what you've seen in the past. But yeah, there's the potential for things to be a little bit different. Yeah.
So we never agreed yet.
Correct.
So this, depending on how we vote, that would also be.
I think they're two separate ideas.
So what happens if nobody wants to go for $44 to do a game somewhere in Springs? does that game just get cancelled?
I mean, that's a good question. So like, we have that a little bit today, right? Like matches are $70, or for high school, they're lower than that. And sometimes we send out an email that's like, hey, can anyone go and do this? And someone raises their hand and says, yeah, I'll go do this. So I would imagine something similar over the summer, that like, if there's something out there that no one has said they'll do, we'll be like, hey guys, this is there. Does anyone want to do it? And the reality is that like, if us as referees say it's not worth our time to drive to Aspen to do a game for $44, that's a message to Aspen, right? And we'll work with them and say, look, you have to be willing to pay more, or you're not going to get a referee from us.
Can,
How did that I mean, are you hearing something from the club? They don't want to pay? I'm just curious of how that setting of profession.
I think so that came from an idea of like, let's create a market for things, right? Like, let's create a place where people who want to buy things and sell things can come together and do that.
Is referee services really a venue for big ones?
Maybe not. I mean, that's the other thing. So
I think I can answer that question. No.
Doesn't it disadvantage the development of rugby places like Aspen and remote places? Because we're all just going to go, okay, they want to play that. Well, they're not going to have referees.
yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. One is this may not work, right? Like, we saw clearly that this did work in the D2 men's, which is really mainly in Denver, right? And we had no issues with that system. Today, and again, it's not even we, right? It's like we have decided that local teams are going to subsidize further remote teams, right? Like, we charge teams here in Denver considerably more money so that we can charge teams further away that same price, because our cost to provide a referee someplace further away is much, much higher. Now, leagues can absolutely step in and do that same thing. They can decide, like, they're going to pool their money and set up the same thing here if they want. But why should we make that decision for teams? Well, why not let the teams say, yeah, you know what? We do want to, we, the Denver Highlanders, want to subsidize Aspen, the Gentlemen of Aspen, or we don't. I think it's...
But, for the development of the sport, this is a not-for-profit business, right? We're not out there we're out there to try and develop the sport, right? So Denver Central basically ends up with the best referees if they want, and put them up, and then Aspen and Vale, etc., ends up with maybe not so good referees, but no referees at all.
So here's the counter argument to that, right? Which is, maybe, let's say there's a situation where Aspen's like, oh, nobody's coming out here when we pay $100, so we have to pay $150 or $200, $250 to get somebody to come out here, and we don't like that.
They've got to pay for that, like their fees and
Yeah, exactly. So
that impacts the ability for them to actually.
But let me work through my point here, right? Is, what if they then say, well, we don't want to do that. What we want to do is actually invest in finding and growing some good referees in Aspen or in that area who are local to us. And now, as a club, we have an incentive to go out and really find these people, right? I mean, we email clubs when we have these meetings, and we get, not meetings, when we have these courses, we get very, very, very little from the clubs about that, right? Handful will come back and be like, yeah, cool, here's some players that will participate, but it's very, very low. So maybe this will incentivize them to actually grow their refereeing in that area, which will then help with not just the Gentlemen of Aspen, but the junior gents, and then Grand Junction and Glenwood Springs, and help those teams.
Potentially have the same referees for referees. weekend.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're gonna
For instance,
include one
up to
guy,
now we've
that's
had
it.
this- up to now we've had a situation where we kind of rotated it. You know, someone says, okay, got the mountain league. Bill, you're going this weekend, and if you can't make it this weekend, you probably go with some other weekend. So everyone gets a chance to go up there, or everyone makes the effort to go up there. It's all kind of more of a communal effort to have a good referee up in Aspen to grow the game.
So but that's a small community as well, and we're in theory a small community for Colorado, right? So it's just like, sure, Aspen should get 3 refs and grow them into 5, and you know we should grow ours. And we have 20 here, we should grow it into 50, right? So like it's just small seed. We should grow, get our referees better so that USA can take them, and then World Rugby can take them, right? That's the kind of goal of this, is to start with clubs and teams and little pockets, and then grow it and grow it and grow it.
And I mean, the flip side of this is like all of your concerns could be 100% right, and this thing could fail, right? Like it could fall on its face, and at which point we go back to using Who's the Ref and making assignments and telling you you're going to Aspen, and then Claire, you're going to Vail, and then Art, you're going to Breckenridge, and you know, hope that you do it. And when you decline it, we'll then say, well, okay, Art, you're not going to do it. Katie, you're going to do it. So we can go back to that model if this fails. But the idea is,
The ref already has a function. I need to
So-
stay local this weekend, or I'm available.
I'm not sure that's true.
It says
To say
it says
stay
neighbor
local.
notes.
Yeah, sure. You can write a note in there. That's true.
I'm sorry.
But so
Yeah, no, we got you in a second.
So again, like I hear Joe is very concerned about this, and maybe you're right, but so far, at least in D2, you're wrong, right? Like this has worked.
It was a beta test, and it was extremely localized, and those are the teams that. All right. Did those D2 teams post their payment amount up there?
Nope, we handle that ourselves.
Okay, there's one problem solved. We continue to solve. As far as recruiting, using it to basically, you use word incentivize to force these mountain teams to develop their own referees.
Well, it's not.
That's the thing.
It's
Like,
not- That's not the purpose of this, though. It's like that could be an outcome of it.
Okay, so what is the purpose of this? To automate something that's a human endeavor?
To automate.
well,
Like driving my car.
so there's a couple sides to this. One,
So nobody wants to forget you.
you're not the only person here, right? So there's a broad group of people that we're looking to support here. So what are the points to this? I think one of the big points is once every 2 months, we get an email from some referee who's really pissed off about the games that they're getting or not getting. So one of the drivers of this is giving you guys as referees more tools to get the specific games that you want, right? So if you think that like we're not giving you the right level of games, you know, we're looking over you, all of that stuff, which happens now, right? It's not a perfect system. You now have some tools to do that. So that's one of the drivers for this. Another driver, absolutely, is to take out some of the manual middleman work. And so far, like a lot of technology things in the last decade have shown to be pretty good at doing that, right? At like automating that, hey, here's a middleman, and taking that role out. And 3 is to try something new. So that's where we're going with that.
You, Bill. Zenobia?
Can you just reiterate when we are gonna, is it gonna go live and then what games again?
Yeah, so it'll be for the summer. So that's the Mountain League, which is, I don't know, 20 or 30 games. And then the high school sevens tournaments. And
That Wednesday, seven?
yeah, correct. The Wednesday sevens tournaments. And I don't know, we'll have to evaluate it as well for the other tournaments that we have this summer. So that's like the Challenge, the
Sorry, we had Bill and you.
Denver Sevens.
Joe, we had a Q.
What did you guys do?
Yeah, okay, cool. So So the idea here is that, like, again, you want this to be just like Who's the Ref? You click the star, right? And you get everything. You can then go in and be like, no, I'm not going to be an assistant referee for that amount of money. Just isn't worth my time. But then you can be like, man, I've never been to Aspen. I really want to go to Aspen. So you have these points or boosts or kind of imaginary currency things that you can then apply to a particular match. So if you really wanted to do this match, you have a way to now indicate your preference for that. So you can say, boom, that's worth 5 of these imaginary things to me. And if no one else puts more than 5, that match is yours. You will be assigned to go and do that. And if somebody else also wanted it and you put down 5, then the losing referee will get some portion of those points, those like pieces of currency. And then in the future, they will be able to then go and get a game that they are interested in doing. Start with 10. You earn more when other people lose. Yeah, exactly. So like, let's take Mark and I. So I want to go do Aspen versus Vale. I'm going to put 5 of my points on it. Mark wants to go do Aspen versus Vale. He puts 3 points on it. Let's say he puts 4 points on it, right? So I win. I go to Aspen. I have a great time. I referee the shit out of that game. And then my 5 points go to Mark. So he now has 15 points. So the next weekend, when I really want to go to Vale and I put 3 points on it, Mark puts 6. He wins. He gets to go to it.
He gets my 6 points. Well, when all things being equal, if no one bids anything, it's random.
But if
So-
somebody continues to do that, you got.
Yeah, but you can't continue to do it because you'll run out of points.
Exactly. So you have
So I can't
a
put
limited
9 every week because if I put 9, my 9 points will go away if I win that match, and then I got to build up my currency again by bidding on 1 point against Mose, and Mose bids 9, and Steve bids 4, then I'll get 5 and he'll get 3 or whatever, however the math works, right?
Yeah.
Donnie?
So while we're on that, do we see what other people bid or not?
No, I don't think so.
So, but here's the random thing, right? So you say this is totally random. If nobody puts points on it,
Yeah.
it's random.
Yeah.
It's how I go full blast, give me a match, gets nothing week after week after week because it's random. And that's kind of,
Well, if you're bidding 9 points, it's going to go to you.
no, but I don't want to bid 9 points. I just want to do a game and it's random. And I'm forced to do.
Well, then bid
points.
2 points.
I mean,
So I can bid on one game, 9 points, so I can do.
No, you could bid 3, 3, and 3, or divide it up however you want. Like I want a game this weekend, but I really want to go to Vale. I kind of want to go to Glenwood, and I will go to Breckenridge. So I'm going to bid 6, 4, 2, whatever, right?
Right. For me, like where I live, it's kind of hard then to go to some games for the money. Because right now I have no problem driving to Wyoming because I know I'm getting some reimbursement for that.
Yeah.
I have no problem. I'll drive to Canada to go do a game if you guys send me there. I have no problem with that. But if I don't get a cent for gas, it's going to be kind of hard to come down to Denver. It's an hour's drive.
Yep.
I'm not getting anything. So for me, it's kind of disenfranchising.
well, the hope would be that the base price would go up, right? So like right now, if you're doing a men's match, you're getting $70, right? If you're doing a high school match, you're getting $58. Is that right? Right. And so then there's some amount of mileage on top of that. So maybe what you would see in here is that like it would be $85 instead of 70, and in your head you'd think, some of that's worth mileage. I'll agree with you. Mileage is tricky, right? Like we have this variable reimbursement. Yeah, we have that variable reimbursement part. which is hard for us to manage, like financially. It's hard for us to figure out how to bill properly for that. And maybe that's where this falls down. I don't know. It's
Bill, did
something
you have
we'll
something?
see.
Yeah. Okay, we have time for one more question because we have a hard stop to get out to the field. Mike?
From the club's perspective, how will they know how to budget? When every week there's what they're allowing for in terms of costs could go up or could come down. Down obviously doesn't affect them as much as going up. But if all of a sudden they're not getting the reps and they've got to pay 25-30% more than they budgeted, how are they going to handle that?
So this gives clubs complete control
But it
over
doesn't
their
in the budget
finances.
for the years. How do they know what the budget?
So currently, we bill clubs, and we bill them for ARs when we assign ARs. We bill them. We don't bill them for ARs when we don't assign ARs. Right? How do they budget for that? Poorly. The answer is poorly, right? And that's a big piece of contention between us and the clubs.
They know they've got so many home games in the schedule, and they know what they're going to pay per ref, and hopefully they get AR, and that's what the budget is.
Well,
So look, I mean, again, right now, clubs complain to us about the way that we handle additional referees, right? So with this, they will have complete control over how much they are paying. And you're,
They don't want AR.
Yeah, they could just.
then great, then they don't, why should we force our customers to pay for something they don't want?
And we've got people who aren't working that weekend.
So we
have ARs.
So we have people who aren't working already, right? Like on any given weekend, there are people who aren't being assigned and aren't working. We have games already without ARs. And I think that if we, as an organization, want ARs on games, that's on us. We should pay for that, and we can do that. So a club could say, we want a referee, and we can say, great, and we're going to put ARs on that. And Rocky Mountain Rugby can say, great, we're going to put a number 4 on that. And we can get full teams covering these. But this allows the clubs to control their costs.
we have to.
They have control over us as referees.
I don't really understand that statement or question.
Well, they can set the price. So they're essentially saying, I don't need a particularly good referee this weekend. I'm going to drop my price to $60.
Well,
I don't care. It's not a particularly important game for us, so we go for cheap referee. But if I've got a really important game that happens to be a potential league position decider, then they're going to bid it up.
Well,
Is that the way we want to allocate referees?
Hopefully, none of you would take that $60 match. It's not worth the time. Now,
Well,
granted, maybe Mose's
but
not getting games, and you would take that.
For those of us who, the younger people who want to improve their referee, they do very well. And take the $60 game. So you're putting somebody who's relatively new, says I want the experience, into a cauldron of pressure cooker.
Well, so again, we have control over the levels, right? So like, we're not going to put someone in a game that they can't handle, right? Because again, you wouldn't, if you really can't do the game, it's not going to be available for you to do.
Brackets, so they put people into brackets, so this group of people to do this particular game.
So I'm going to put a hard stop on this. Steve and I will be at the bar at the Bull and Bush tonight, and if you'd like to come and discuss this more, we'll be happy to discuss this. Also, you can reach him at recruiting at Rocky Mountain Rugby Referees and me at RDO at Rocky Mountain Rugby Referees. All right?
Yeah, it works on a phone. So again, like, I mean, I heard a lot of concerns. I think they're interesting. They're potentially valid. We don't know. And so we're going to try it and continue to look for feedback as people are actually using it. And as we said, if it fails in flames, then we've always got Who's the Ref, and we'll go back to telling you guys what matches you're doing.
Does the membership actually have a choice?
No, we're still beta testing it for the mountains.
So before it goes live after the beta test, Does the membership have a?
Well, sure. I'm sure if this is our new system and we've tested it, and it works or fails. And if it
But
fails,
if it's viewed as a success and somebody brings a motion in the AGM that they don't want it, is that a valid motion?
I think so.
sure, why not? Or membership.
So it's got to pass the membership.
I think those are two different things that you said there, right?
They're often saying the same thing.
I think certainly if the membership brings a motion saying that they don't want to do this, that's totally valid, and it gets approved, then you guys can set direction.
But there's a little bit like also in the bylaws where the executive committee can make decisions based on the welfare of the members. And this is where this is falling. And that's why we're beta testing it now.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So if it's not brought up in that kind of what you're thinking, and B, if it's like up to the EC that is putting this on, you guys don't like it, then that's a clear path. Elect a new EC or bring it up for a vote. Pretty democratic. It could work that this is the greatest
representative democracy, right?
Yeah, this could be the greatest thing ever. It could be the worst thing ever. I mean, same thing with Steve Jobs. He made a lot of lemons, and he made a lot of great things too. So I'm not comparing you to Steve Jobs. Only
That's fine. I can take it.
only that I hope that you. No, just kidding. All right, so we're gonna go right out to it because we need to get out to the field.
Sorry, there's one other unrelated thing. So June, we are going to also try just a remote meeting. So we will not be meeting in person here in June. We'll just be doing it on the Zoom meeting for next month.
Okay.
You're
So-
sending us the link.
I've sent
We
you all the
will.
link on a recurring calendar through Gmail. Well, yeah. So again, if you don't have that link, send me an email. I'm happy to send it to you, but I've sent every member a Gmail calendar invite for our Wednesday meetings. So maybe I don't have your email. Maybe it's not the right email in the Rocky Mountain things. There's lots of possibilities. But again, like if you don't have that link, please email me. Happy to send it. I'm happy to send a certain email because Mike, I have 152 emails for you. Maybe that's not the right one.
Also, we'll make sure that in the agenda, it has the link.
Yes, there you go. Easy. All right. So we're going to go out and do a session real quick.
So how do you want to record
Let's
this?
just do that.
Do we
I was
need-
trying to
So we need
heart eyes
we need
you,
this,
but then
we need
no
this,
noise.
this. Zoom attendee stand by. We'll try and get this going.
Should we just log into the Zoom meeting?
Maybe
with
I've
this?
never done it.
Why don't I try that on my phone?
Can I ask you like a slightly related question? Yeah. So would the match recording still be a thing? Like that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, we want to get scores
Yeah.
and like our team's compliant with everything.
Steve and Bill and Chuff and Doug stand by.
2 men. High school host.
Well, this is your.
Send them there to Mark. Mark, I'll send you an email.
Yeah. And again, it'll be in the agenda.
Because
link.
I seriously haven't got anything on the Gmail.
Well, I mean, do you get the emails from the group? Well, then we don't have your email.
I signed up.
Mike, can you just kind of close that door, but not close it all the way?
I signed up.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll work on that.
I know I did, but I didn't get. And I think I got the first one, and then I think nothing happened.
Waiting for Claire in the boots. And I'll
Yeah.
be out there.
So give me 1 second, Chuff, Doug, and Steven. Steve Gore is trying to log in with his phone to record it.
Dog.
Change is bad. We fear change.
Who's surprised by that?
Not at all.
Raise your hand.
Change is bad. We fear change. You always do what you always did. You always get what you always got. Can you? You could maybe take over.
Press the video button.
I can see you.
Hello?
So Steven, can you, like, if you run it off Steve's thing, can you see everything?
Can you see me? Oh, look at that.
Steven, you share?
I can't share, but people should be able to like maximize.
Steven, can you maximize his video?
It's really fun thing to do right next to me.
Many things are. And no players show up.
So if you double tap on Steve's image, it makes it full screen and you can pull him up.
Okay.
I find if there's like a divider, and if I drag it over, it maximizes full screen.
Now I don't see him at all.
It's good. That's
Oh,
good.
there he is.
So everyone unshare their video. There you go. In video?
How's that, guys?
Hi there. Is that rugby ball?
Looks awesome, Steve. Well done.
Okay, now we just need some players.
So we'll go with
Yeah.
while we wait for everyone to everyone that's suspense means like Glendale player, rugby player. Yeah, thanks for your time for us to help us get a little bit better. If you're gonna penalize Spence for the bottom ruck, you get one free pass.
One free pass.
Well, a lot of free pass. So we're gonna go over one is scrum setup, and then stability, pre and post gauge, and triggers for that. Post engagement, and then triggers for that, and then we're just gonna go over line out structures, and then things to look for line out small transitions. So we will need. So if we could have Art, Mose, and Spencer. So basically, really quickly, right? This is pretty basic stuff. It's all covered in the level 1. But ideally, when you're awarding scrum, right? And if you want to make the mark up and down, right? And then each hooker should line up left to that mark. So Mose, we want to have Mose come over here also, okay? And then Chris, if you're the other hooker, right? We want to have him left to the mark, right? So that's the first thing. By doing that, when I call crouch, everyone's head will be in the channel. It's left of the mark, and you call crouch. You call crouch. What'll happen is you'll kind of see like people like staring the same space and fucking their heads a little bit. Right? So break up. So first thing we want to do, hookers line up left to the mark. Usually the attacking hooker sets up first, and the defender usually sets up. So then, like he sets up right there. Now, again, a trigger for them not being left to the mark, we call crouch, and they're fighting for the same space. So if Art and Joe are fighting for the same space, and you see him kind of doing that, blow it up, move the hooker left to the mark. Okay. Guys, come left to the mark. Right. It's already marked. Yeah. Make the mark. Right. The next thing before we want to do is we want the loose head. This is usually number one. And over here, make sure you have the target. What they like to do is to give the tight head in base. So boom, you check the left of the mark, and then you want to make sure you see 6 shoulders. And then again, if you don't have one, you don't touch your shoulder. Great. Please. I don't like this stuff. Thank you. Right? So now everyone's got channel target.
Can you tuck your shoulder just so we can get it on the video? Yep.
So you don't want that. You want to be a shoulder? Okay.
Perfect. Yep.
So
Thank you.
Okay. Joe's tucked. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not enough. I need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Right? So, left of the mark. Drum set up shoulders. Now everyone has a channel, and we want to worry about space. So, if you guys could those. So, for me, like if I call crouch, they're going to be resting their heads on each other's shoulders. That's not enough space. Stand up. If Mose sets up and Chris sets up, it'll be about 4 inches, so about that much. You can have about that much space, 4 inches of space. That'll be perfect when I call crouch. So crouch. And now you have no one. You have a pole cube that can go through a laser, and no one's resting their head. Okay, everyone break up. So left of the mark, about 4 inches. So that's all before you even say crouch. That's all like 2, 3. Right? So now we're going to get into crouch. Yeah. So both of the feet, they need to go with their right foot. Yeah, because that's the hook they want to hook. So the left of the mark. Yeah, so it's this foot, right? And one more right here. Yeah. Okay. So again, mark. Yeah. You got 4 inches. A little bit too close. Right. If he's there on the mark first, and he's coming in late. Okay, so now we'll say crouch, right? And I won't burn you guys' tie out. Now we're looking for everyone to have a good going forward space, and everyone's line. We don't want Art to have his butt out here a little bit, and we don't want Joe to have his butt out here a little bit, or this foot up a little bit, because we want everyone to have a kind of thing. And if it's good, if it's not right, stand up, you square up. Sure. Come on, square up. I'm gonna burn your thighs down a little bit. All right, let's go again. So, when crouch is your spiritual moving over, everyone's going the right way, right? They're not angling in, they're going towards the goal. Crouch. Okay, don't move on until everyone's happy. Bind. Okay. And demonstrate between Joe and Art. Yeah, binding. No, that's fine. Just binding and what we want to do. So Joe again at prop. His bind goes where?
Lower.
Yeah, inside. His head goes outside, his bind goes out inside. He is a tight head. His head goes inside. Where's his bind? Great. Easy. So, bind. Yeah. Good. Good bind over here. Grab out of here. Good.
No, I
Just can't win.
Things we're looking for here is Joe's arm, where he's bound. The short. Hold on the body. And then his binding is again like anywhere up here. But the problem is you'll have here is hookers will be binding right here, and you'll be like struggling to bind. So be patient and let that tight head get a bind before you bind. Don't just assume you're gonna bind, right? So when they do a good long bind, when they do engage, right? We want ideally this is a good solid platform. Joe's elbow's a little bit down. If he goes down, maybe his elbow down and he can run it down. Ideally, you can keep it up here, and if it goes down, I'll probably reward it. So it's kind of tough to do with a loose head, but if his elbow's down like that, it's very easy to pull down. And if it goes down, I may be a trigger for me. Maybe a trigger for me to either talk to the loose head and manage him, or penalize him for his elbow going down and bringing it down. Okay? What you're saying is tight as possible, never No. If Joe's loose head elbows up, he's fighting to stay in it. I'm probably going to reward Joe. And if he's already brought my elbow down, well, that's another trick. We're going to talk that. So now, with Art having that good bind, we're going to show a bad bind on Art. So again, if you guys don't mind, what you'll see is crouch bind. We'll get a good bind here, and then on set, you'll see a tight head slip his bind and grab right here a lot, right? And now this guy is trying to leverage this player and manage him or you grab him on the arm. So if that does come down there, I'm not saying reset it, but now that's a trigger for me that the tight head is going to probably mess with this scrum a little bit, right? And he's going to take it down. Okay. So again, if Joe's fighting to stay in the game with an elbow up, and his body comes down and right there, then that's for me. That's not good for him. Okay. Bring it up, Dan. So again, loose head, fighting to stay in the game with his elbow up, tight head, long bind, and as soon as he changes on his arm, it's a trigger. Like that's not good for me, right? If it kind of goes a little wonky, you get the ball out. Remember the next to manage someone, just pick someone at the next step. You don't go, hey guys, I need you to sort out your bind, because they're all like, well, he's not talking to me. So if you have to manage someone in a scrum, pick someone, right? And now he needs to know. This guy's gonna fuck with him because he just told him that he's under pressure. But I'm gonna watch him, and if he does his job, then obviously he's not doing his job. So, blah blah blah. Gonna mess with him. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. Use whatever tool works with you. I feel that like finding one, and now your obligation is to square. If you're square and perfect, and it goes down, obviously it's there, right? Okay. Good. Let's do post engagement. We can have the team of 3 again. Or the team of 6.
How do you know whose fault it was that it wheeled? Or do you just always give it to like a defensive team?
Why don't you ask Mark when we get into that? Because that's a good question for the
waiting
group.
for him to say questions.
Fine. Set. Okay. Bring it up real quick. Now, with a weight of 16 players, when it engages, it'll set, be stable, and usually dip down and then go back into a stable platform. Just the weight of it and strength. So just have some patience. Again, it's up to the 9. Just have some patience for that stability before we want the 9 to get the ball in. Okay? And again, like the scrum half will, like a bad day out for his team, he'll get in really quickly. But we want a little bit more stability. If it's not that stability, again, scrum half, please make sure it's stable for the ball, right? It's just about managing, creating opportunities. Okay. As you kind of stand here, a good rule of thumb is that imagine the scrum engage. I'm not going to make them engage too long, but the scrum's here. So your crouch, good, spines and lines. Spines are good on the body. Patience throughout this scrum. Cadence. I would rather you have it be long between bind and set, just to make sure it's stable, and then set and stable, right? Now, one thing I kind of look for, and what you'll kind of find is the tight head will claim that the loose head's not taking the weight. And because you're penalizing that tight head, because he's kind of going forward and it's causing it stable, but the loose head's not taking that weight. And if we can just pick on Spencer and Bill here. So Spencer's my tight head, Bill's my loose head. Maybe come around. So if you cannot figure out if he's not taking the weight or is he going early, when they engage, so crouch bind, don't ruin his jacket, set, they set and come together, is his legs go back a little bit or the stable up here? So if he drives up, like is he taking a bigger step? Yeah, and kind of rocking it, or is his legs not taking that? So if you have that scenario, like bring it up there. He's not taking the hit, you bang him for a free kick for early engagement. If he comes up, he's not taking the hit. Just have a look at the trigger. So the trigger will be able to look at the loose head, and if he's there on set and he has a good platform and doesn't move his leg, then it's his responsibility to maintain structure. If on set and he goes back a little bit, then it's him not taking the weight. So again, first trigger is the loose head stable, and it's a good platform, and then is he stepping up after engagement to kind of put him in the 15-degree, right? So what is your call? What is?
Or you just blow it up.
So again, like
Blow it up and redo it, or if you're like, okay, this is the second, I'm tired of it.
Well,
give a penalty.
I mean, right? He's claiming he's not doing it. He's claiming he's going early. It's, you know,
Right, you're not going to call it on that first time something whines about it.
You know,
Right.
It's yours to manage. It's yours to penalize. What level game is it? What time in the match is it? There's not a black and white. Okay, right? You must take the weight. Right? However it works. But again, if you go down there, crouch, find set, and he goes back like that, I'm going to reward Spencer for him not taking it. Okay? Yeah.
For the compensate, you see those guys shoot their legs back because they're coming hard. So he's lost his shape. That point, if it goes down, right?
Yeah, that's a good trigger, right? Because again, we want our legs underneath us, not out like that. You're waiting on it. So again, last little bit on scrum before we go line out. So once the scrum is set, stable, and the ball's in, right? How do we know who's going up? Is he bailing out? Is he inviting? Is this team dominant? Is the tight head going in? Is the loose head going in for pressure on it? How do we know that? And that is like, we can watch clips and clips and clips and clips. But here's a simple kind of solution. It's not the only solution, but for right now, it's going to get the done. Everyone take your two fingers and touch them together, right? Put equal amount of pressure on them, right? Now take one hand slightly and just move it a little bit and put pressure on it, right? So what happens with that? The scrum kind of goes that way, right? Now, again, put one pressure up, put pressure on that. Let the finger goes up. So as you're here with the scrum, and again, the trigger is the end all be all. If the scrum's stable right here, all of a sudden, we start going like this. Walk the scrum. Who do we think is angling it? Right? What about we come, like we start going and we go this way? Yeah, it's probably John or Art, right? So if the scrum on here, it goes like that, maybe have a look at this side. Goes like that, maybe have a look at that. Well, if it goes up, it reset it, but it's Glendale versus Deloitte, and they're not very, and Glendale's staying in it and going driving, and they just bail out, and it's legal, then you probably reward them, right? It's their opportunity to stay in it. If for some reason, it could be really tough to do, I'll be the ball. I'll be the prop.
You guys might wanna move a little bit.
Kill him.
But lift me up, my Spencer. Lift him up. Right in the chest. Yeah. Right here up there like that, and you have a guy hanging up there.
Yeah.
Instantly blow that up and fill that down.
Okay.
Right? Because he's going up with me. So again, it's really tough to do. So again, if you have a prop and his feet come up off the air, we're going to instantly penalize his officer. And we'll figure that out later. That's very, very dangerous. So if you see a guy just kind of going up, it's going to be his officer number. Okay? But yeah, I'm not flexible at all. But like, yeah, right? Quick question. Yeah, U19s driving back to your path. That would be them not holding the weight, but they're getting driven back. No. So they can. So you would just say stop. Okay.
Oh, that'd be good.
Okay, stop. Okay, so stop. So you wouldn't really like look for a legal dominant thing right there, but if the U19 just bails out and they all stand up and they're like everyone's good to go, everyone's going straight and they bail out, yeah, maybe you would look to reward the dominant team. U19 it doesn't happen much. Okay. So any other questions on scrum? Sorry, why not fast?
Yes, but I don't know if you want to get into.
Could we
do? So you're just doing front row right now?
Well, we're not going to pack it. We're not going to pack it.
But also, I mean, on that point, like most of the problems in scrums come down to the front row, and really it comes down to the props, right? So like of the 16 players, it's usually those 4 that are going to cause problems.
I've heard this a lot. There's some reason that you still have to say no ref, so that when you say crouch, bind and
no
engage and somebody pull out, avoid counting, avoid any injuries or anything. Yeah. Tell the players like as soon as you know that you're not ready, just say ref no, eliminate
Can we do lineouts inside? We're going inside. Hey, folks on the webinar, how is this working? Can you hear the conversations? Can you see things? Are you still there?
Still here. The video and sound is a little choppy, but
no, you shouldn't. I'm redoing audio.
Okay, hold on 1 second, everyone.
I'm working on it. Start my video and back.
Okay. We can have Philip Rand, Phil, Art, Jose, line. We'll go over basic structure stuff. You all should know line out. You all know you need a defending thrower, right? As an thrower, to really help your referees when you're putting the ball and you're marking the line of touch. If ever you can put a defensive team on a line, 22-meter line, the halfway line, the 10-meter line, whatever, like 55-meter line, just sacrifice that 2 extra 3 steps and try and put a team on the line. So imagine a very right here, right? Imagine that line. It's really, you'll set them up first. They're usually there to start up, and everyone's doing their little huddles in the meeting right there. They come up and set the mark. You have them right there. They're on that line. It really helps out the referee. But when you're kind of in your setup, and you can kind of see Joe crossing that line, trying to bar you a little bit, right? You can kind of see that, right? And just whistle up, please stay on the line. So just a little quick AR tip. Whenever you can do it, you sacrifice a couple meters, 2 or 3 feet, put a defensive team on the line. Okay? So you guys could, we're gonna do like 1 line out, like 1 team and do more. Right? Yeah. So you guys are going that way to defend this, right? This is kind of a new clarification of where the receiver can stand, and we thought that he can stand anywhere and be no closer than 2 meters to the line of touch, and anywhere up to 10 meters. And the laws kind of changed. He can only be 2 meters away from this player, right? So he can't like be way back here, you know, waiting to do something, and be 8 meters away, right? So he could be between 5 and 15, no closer or farther than 2 meters from his head. So he has a 10-meter gap here, the receiver, right? Got the touch line and the 5 and the 15, right? So he's got a 10-meter line that's 2 meters away from the inside, right? They can only have 1 receiver. If they want to come in and Randy wants to be the receiver before the ball's in, happy days, fine. If he, what's the other scenario? I don't know something about the ball and I don't. That's fine too. If I come in before it, that's fine. Mose can come in and do it. No receiver? No receiver?
You gotta have a receiver.
You don't have to have a receiver, but you can have a receiver, you will have a receiver. Yeah. Right? I can't just come in and do it. Someone doesn't have to do it. So again, with all line out infringement, if you can manage it, let's just reset it. Make sure you go the ball in straight. Make sure you don't hit early. Make sure we don't want to look at free kicks a lot for line out. Only if the keep infringing, right? Then we have to all right, we're going to ask free. So if you can manage it, manage it. The thrower can become a receiver. Mose, yeah. Well, Mose will come appeal.
Yeah. Usually, depends on lineup. Usually, the first guys we don't have, they have their jumper in front, and then we join from.
Yeah. I saw this just the other day though, and it was very. Nobody went back. I think they just screwed up. Yeah. But then they have to went through. Again, just manage it.
No receiver. We start with no receiver.
Yeah.
Can they have a receiver?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So 6 and 1.
Yeah.
6 and or rather 6 and none.
Yeah.
6 and 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fine. Glad we came in. Yeah. Let's also just make sure we have a gap. I've seen in a lot of videos that's not. And again, set that defensive team first, and really it's up to me to close that. But if I want to take away, I'm Mose. I want to take away my point, and it's a harder thing to throw. But don't let the defense. You said it makes it to be pretty easy to get the ball into this gap, especially on one again. Trigger for that is if you have a not straight, that's fine. You have a not straight. If you have 2 not straight in your match, you need a bigger gap. Okay? Or
terribly uncomfortable. But that's like this thing. But obviously he needs help. So this is fine. All right? Hopefully you do it. Okay. So one last little thing, and this is for Philip. And the military.
You're gonna tattoo it on your eyelids, man.
If the ball comes in and it's being thrown, Joe catches it. Right? And Randy and Bill, so Joe's the number 6 receiver, right? And Randy or Bill are coming out from this way and we go past the play. And then Joe throws it left, right? What is that? So there's a team here within the zip code that likes to do that, and we're trying to educate them not to do that. that will send a pot out and take the ball opposite. As soon as they cross that 15, that line out is still on, and they left the line out early, right? What that's giving them is they're giving them a free range to 10 that back. So everyone has to stay within the 5 and 15. There's no reason like they can run to the back and as Joe catches it, say, you go to see I have it back. This we can go. But we can't put up past the line. Okay? Yeah. What we can do is we can do that. We can go doesn't catch it, goes past on it, and then I catch it as long as the ball goes past it. And then we can do that. Right? So the clock itself is obviously going past it. Yep. That's the word. Okay, so now let's talk about something to look for. So we're going to get Bill, ball comes in, Bill catches it, right? This team is a mauling team. Used to his supporters are right here. So what they'll do is what I look for over here is as me as a stacker or an opponent, do I have access to get to Bill? If I don't, and they close it down, that's potential obstruction, right? All right, now these are the supporters. They lift them and they're bringing them down, right? They can't also block that. I have to have access to get to the guy, right? The ball carrier. What I can do is if they bring him down and I can tackle him, I can sack him immediately. But if they do that again, they support him, I cannot, like, as he's up in the air and he's coming down, I can't grab Randy and pull him out. I can't grab a supporter, right? Only the ball carrier when he lands, right? And if we're both up here fighting for it, right here, Randy can hold the ball. Okay? We're both fighting for it, and if there's any kind of contact with this, that's probably a pretty good penalty. Really, any kind of contact. That's a really, because as we're both up in the air, and I had a little bit like that to throw him off. Yeah. So any kind of, like, we're competing for the ball, happy days. But if I'm just like that, he beats me. Remember the contest in the air cross play? How does he land? What comes in? Let's take that out of the game. Compete for the ball. Okay?
So Mark says,
yep.
Back has got to be immediate.
Yep. As soon as he hits the ground, the stack has to be like this. You don't really want to stack them like that because I'm pretty much forming them all. So we're going to stack them like this and pull it down. All right? So that's the stack. Now we're going to look at, we're going to compete for a maul. That's pretty easy. He comes down and we're all competing for. We're all bound in, ready. We can push through. That's fine. I can't. When we start seeing this stuff, right there, right? He's on through the middle. No, but he's kind of swimming around it, right? And it'll eventually become over here. Just get him around. Well, yeah, it's like clicking through like that, right? If I come through the middle, that's fine. Okay. What we cannot do is that they're going to form a maul, and it's Dale's and Spencer's on my time. Philip. What we can't do is, if we're not going to compete and they bring it down, we can't back away from it. We cannot back away from that ball. If we don't want to compete, what we have to do is, if we're not going to compete, we have to separate along the line out. Really? Yep. Once we back away, we're leaving the line out. And that's a penalty for you.
Okay, so you split. We've got our half of the mall. It's not a mall because you're not in it. So we got our half of the mall. You guys split.
I will get to that.
Please do.
I know we're getting to that. Thank you. Okay, so again, if we back away from it, no. I imagine I'll back away and back away. I'm not touching it. I'm not engaging it, right? We're liable for penalty for leaving the line. Yeah. Okay. If we separate, right, and they decide to go up the mall, then the trigger as a referee is that the guy leading the charge has to be the ball carrier, and he has to have the ball with him. So as they're doing that, so if we can kind of go towards the goal, the garage door, right? That's fine. They can march upfield. Happy days, happy days, happy days. Stop. In theory, I can come around and grab the ball or tackle him, or I can then come and tackle him here, or I can form a ball. What we'll find in that scenario is Bill will come down, immediately hand it to Mose, and be bound.
Oh, yeah.
So we're bound to it. Bill will not be no longer in possession of it, and Mose will be bound, and they'll be going forward, right? So if we do see that, they're liable for obstruction. Your bailout of that is use it. If they don't, scrum. Okay? So recognize it. Tell them to use it. If they don't, immediately turn it over for a scrum. What they can do is they can also, they'll be on possession of, and Mose be in possession of it. All for him. Yeah, like, yeah. So they can still be in possession of it. They're both in possession of it. That's because Mose takes the ball, completely control of it, right? Then we want to get him to use that ball. 9, use it now. Or I'll turn it over, right? What we can no longer do is Bill catching the ball and immediately like long arm transferring it to Mose as he comes in. So we'll kind of look at that. So Bill lands and immediately hands it to Mose and then we form a ball, right?
There's
Mose,
separation here. There's separation.
Mose has to go get that ball. So Bill can catch it, right? Bill can catch it and Mose go get it, but Bill can't hand him the ball like that, right? Also, yep. So,
what is that called then if they're doing that?
Obstruction? Okay. Yeah.
Okay, because you're right there in front of them. They're a wall.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. So now Mose is going to come grab that ball, and Dale and I are going to come bind on top of him. So Mose grabs the ball, right? And then we're going to come bind and form this ball, right? And then you'll see Mose slip out the back, and we'll kind of come in, leaving a little bit more like that.
And he's got to stay bound on to us.
No,
he can't.
So that ripper can't slip out the back, have people come in front of them to get a more stronger pyramid. Because in theory, Bill and I will then be joining the ball from in front of the last person's foot, and that's side injury offside. So what will have to happen is Mose will bind, Dale can bind on the Bill, I can come grab the ball, John Kenny can come grab the ball, and then we can go like that, and we're all good to go.
What they're doing is they're putting space and bodies between defenders and ball.
So we just don't, again, we don't want that slip out, and then we go. Okay?
So in the initial one, you said as long as the Bill can maintain the ball, it doesn't matter if he has people behind them, down on them, they can move forward as much as they want.
So if Bill maintains the ball, right, and they're good, there's no obstruction. Yeah. Fine.
Move forward.
They're going forward, and then I can come and I can try and stop it. It's now the ball, right? And as long as if I stop it, great. If they're still going forward, right, that's fine. If it becomes stagnant, they have 5 seconds for one, and then 5 seconds, get it going again.
Did you say that you could sack Bill also?
Well, immediately from the lineup.
Okay. That's what I thought I heard something different. Okay.
Not after you guys have stepped to the side, it moves a bit.
Oh.
Then somebody else.
Yeah, in theory, you could come tackle him.
Yeah.
Okay. But you won't see that often because he's supposed to. I mean, what will happen is I'm going to come and go and tackle him. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, or it gets transferred back to Dale, back to Art, back to me, back to you, and Mose comes and tackles you.
Right. Joe, so we're like going forward, you split each side, right? You left, yeah. Then you can come all the way around because there's no rough one.
Yep. No offside line.
I get no offside.
Okay. So again, if it's a dominant maul, they look like they have their stuff together, they're going forward, and if it looks like it goes down on their accord, that's fine. It's an unplayable turnover. But if it does come down and it just all of a sudden falls, and I'm an opposing player, you can't tell who brought it down, but usually this guy does the body get up. This guy who brought it down, that's a good trigger for like, I'm going to think I'm going to penalize you, right? Right? That's the one thing. Or if I just go down into a heap and Bill's like going over me, if I'm trying to tackle it, and I go down, I'm not doing anything productive and I'm liable for penalty, right? So any kind of body on the ground, as he's competing, but he falls down, he's just like that, right? He's liable for penalty. Even though like he's kind of out of it, but it still kind of trips on him. I'm getting out, sir, or whatever, right? It's a big flash for that. That's right, Donnie, and then John.
Uncontested line out, so that team decides I don't want to split because they were looking for that obstruction, but he keeps the ball. They can go as far as they want.
Yep.
Just let them go.
Yep. John?
So, two questions, one mall related, one rec related.
Sure.
This is how I rep it personally. Nothing on the leg.
Okay. Yeah. Again, it's a flash point. We don't want your supporter to be like this. We
I'm
don't
thinking
want
more defender.
him to be like this, the medium side, and doing that, right?
Yeah. All right. And same thing at ruck. I try to say, hey, upper body, that's fine, but when you get a wrap a leg, it becomes your flash.
Yeah. Again, what level? How's the match? Who's competing? You know, is it like driving a guy, hit your elbow up? It's all management, right? That's a great point, John. Art?
One thing I'm curious about that I haven't seen a whole lot of, but it was the Black Ice did it in their lineout, where if it was their lineout, they would all stand out of the tunnel, and then as soon as they went to throw, they would come into the tunnel.
Okay. I thought we covered that, but that's great. So again, we're going to imagine that Z is the hooker, and I'm six people, an attacking thing, right? So Donnie is the defense. He's there ready to go. Happy days. And we're all going, blah, 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 blah. We're all in a huddle. What you try to do is, guys, form your huddle outside the 10. Don't huddle. But what is happening right now, because what's happening right now is they're going, blah, 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 blah. They'll come up to you. The hot number's 3. Then they'll come up and they'll make their call. Blue 63, 42, set, hike, whatever. And she'll know that, whatever. Then they change they'll come up with a huddle again.
No, but they walk.
No, yeah, but hold on, I'll get to it. Hot number's 4. So that's what's kind of going on now, right? So as they walk in, if they huddle outside of 10 happy days, and then they come in, they walk in, they can't immediately walk in and jump for it. They have to walk in. All right, Joe. They have to walk in, be set, and then go. And then set is a predetermined amount of time for you. What is set?
So they can't set in that 2-meter channel that you talked about. That's how they do it.
Well, I mean, we want the gap, right? We want
right.
The gap.
No, they set a gap, but then they're outside of that gap, standing like this, and then they step into it and move.
Well, what they do is they can step into it.
So they have to stay
I have John, Megan, and you, and we're all here.
Yep.
And we have to be set, and then we're going to do our thing.
Okay, so yeah, they just do it as a fluid moment.
No.
I play for Black Ice, and there's always like a 3-second, like you step in and stop.
Fantastic.
Okay.
And I'll let you guys fight it out.
Okay.
Megan.
If we the channel, we call it for stepping into the channel.
And the thing is, guys, if you can manage it with the hooker throwing the ball and say, wait till they step. Right?
Well, I mean, all teams should have been taught this from the top down, while it trickles down. That's something for you guys they can do it once, and you reset it, and But guys, we're not doing that, and I've seen a lot of teams just keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it.
Well, we were
right?
seeing that at the Holy Family Tigers 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm trying to question
Yeah.
more comments or something. I don't know, your hand is up a while ago.
Sorry, yeah. We're gonna get wrapping up here.
Yeah,
a
we
little
are.
bit.
Because that was exactly what we were seeing.
Spencer.
No, just going back to the question on the rough with the leg.
Okay.
So it was you don't want no legs, is it?
Well,
I just mean the only thing from a player's perspective, and even back home in Ireland when I was the course there, is the player all about that gate, and also again, I did the exact same thing here. You can again tilt those legs over that certain horizontal line.
I think of it as collapse.
Collapse it, yeah. So what I'm saying is, if I were to come in and I were to hit someone, let's say there was a guy here, and let's say you were down during the rough.
Oh yeah.
And I were to say the gate's open here. If I were to come in here, just perfectly legal in the gate, but not the minute that leg. I'd say the minute the leg's over horizontal, then it's collapsing. Or if I'm just jumping on top, if I just fall on top of them, or hitting straight. You see some guys, and especially in the lower levels in Ireland, that's me, and how they seal their rucks is they come in straight down, and then they lay on the floor. And it's like, okay, you're not really going to go for it. That's collapsing a ruck for me. Yeah. But I just said I wanted to put my input in there. So if you get that leg, but I just say, again, if you could stop them coming off their feet.
Yeah. I think to Spencer and John's point is we're not saying no, you can't take the leg. It's a flash point, right? Referee the game. There's nothing allowed. You can't take the leg, but it's a flash point. If he brings it up, takes him over the horizontal, the elbow comes up, could be liable for penalty, right? If he comes and drives him back, and I'm just rucking, and I'm going like that, right? You know.
When you say flash point, you mean something to look at.
Yeah,
right?
it's a trigger, right? Like, oh geez, I need to look at that.
Flash point being punches.
Well, that could, Johnny could take offense to that, and then he's going to come down on me. Trigger, flash point, right? Line up, long arm transfer, right? Pass down. I think we're pretty good. Do we have any questions on line out? Right? It's probably the hardest. Probably the hardest.
What?
Worst place the referee can stand is the line.
The same spot every time.
Yeah, in the tunnel. It's probably one of the hardest things to referee now. The lineouts for them all needs to be the breakdown. But I think so. We could all we could do some more film on this maybe, or some more practice. I'm happy to come up with stuff. That's all I really have for you guys. Okay. Thanks for Mosaic for letting us in here. Thanks for
Spencer.
We have a law book in the courtroom for you. And this is Steve Gore. He's our recruitment retention officer. Spencer is certified referee in Ireland. So we're gonna
that means nothing.
Yeah. Where are you from? Ireland as well?
No.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Are we adjourned, Nelson?
No, I can do my step.
Yeah, we got to go back, get your stuff, and then.
Are we done?
Hey, wait, listen, Bullenbush, if anybody wants to go, and next meeting will be just online, and yeah. And hey, good luck to everybody that has playoffs and finals assignments. Bye.